I This just popped in my head actually. How will humans live without internet, without being online? Some people are chronically online, and when you take away their phone or their internet for like 2, 3 hours, they're completely crashing, right? And people are so addicted to it, especially kids. I'm sorry, I know it's not all of you, but many of you are. Gen Z and even the generation before that, that I'm a part of. We've been so chronically online, and it's not just our fault, by the way. I just want to make that clear. It's also because of all the content that's being pushed out, the amount of stuff that's being uploaded to YouTube and then TikTok, and people are on Instagram and stuff. So it's not just our own fault. Um, but to a certain amount, it is our fault because we should be able to restrain ourselves. And sometimes you see these videos when a father or a mother is like having issues with their child and they're taking away their phone for a day. They just don't know what to do with their time because they don't know how to be bored anymore. Right? Like sometimes I just turn everything off. Like I just close everything off. No TV, nothing, no book. I know books, right? What's that? You know, like the physical thing that has like letters in it, that thing. And I just lay there and just like breathing in, breathing out for like 30 minutes, just completely just giving myself some time and space, closing my eyes to be like, and just being bored, just not doing anything. Is it a waste of time? Maybe for some of you, but I think as a human, we kind of need that. Kind of like that sort of like emptying emptying your brain completely and just let it all out, right? Just be like completely weak, like do like this and just lay on the ground or sit in your nice chair or lay on the bed or and just do nothing for 30 minutes. I think every human being deserves that. Um and when I see those videos, I just think to myself, kids, like just chill, just go outside, you know. Um I don't know, throw a frisbee or kick a ball or something like that, just do it until your parents are telling you, okay, now you can have your phone back. And it kind of scares me that, let's say, for example, there's going to be a huge outage worldwide, right? And the internet is gone for a day or 2 days. I think humans are going to lose their minds. I can watch my favorite content creator, you know? And then they're gonna go riot over 2 days of no internet because worldwide it collapsed. Now I don't think that's ever going to happen, but it's just an what if scenario. And I kind of have to like circle this back towards COVID because at the moment they told us we're going to have a lockdown, people were losing their minds, and I still think that the world has not recovered from that. And but during COVID we had internet, so people were like chronically more online than ever before because they couldn't go outside. So what did they do? They either got a vaccine, but even during the vaccine, or like when they're in the car, like on their phones, like doom scrolling, right? And then they get the vaccine and shit, and then they keep scrolling, right? So if you take that away, I am so curious what humanity would do or the population. To me, I would think it sucks, but I can read a book. I don't know. I can maybe, I don't know. Like I said, I can be bored. I could just like put on headphones, lay back, right? And if it's 2 days, it's 2 days. I don't care. I can go for a walk. I don't care. Um, but I'm just kind of scared of like these people that are so chronically online, what they would do. Because I really think that there's like a murderous intent with some people. If they don't have their internet, they're gonna lose their minds and they're gonna rob things or I don't know, whatever they're gonna do. And I think that's terrifying. It's terrifying how the internet has us in our grasp. The most of humanity. that are like so chronically online that if they cannot set out that particular tweet in that moment, they're gonna lose their shit. And I think that's terrifying. And I think to know that we are so reliant on the internet. Once more, it's not only our problem, by the way. It's what the government creates, with everything being digitalized. You know, oh, you want to make an appointment? Do it in the app. Oh, you want to do this? Oh, do it online on our website. You know, back in the old days, ladies and gentlemen, you would get like a paper, like literally a paper, and it would say like how much money you've earned. I'm not that old though, but I grew up with that idea. You would get an envelope and it says like, oh, this is how much money you made, blah blah blah, right? Um, but nowadays it's like, oh, but we can also send you an email, and then you have like a portal, and then you can like log into, and then you see everything. Um, and it's like they are like I said, it's not only our fault, but they're also making us reliant on it, right? So it's not like where I only blame us, but I'm blaming the whole system that is making us so reliant on all of those things. And that's shitty. That shouldn't happen. They should give us the opportunity to still do things per letter, per writing. Because if I would have to write a letter now, I probably wouldn't even recognize my own handwriting anymore because I'm so used to using a keyboard or like my phone with like typing, right? And that's bad. You could see it with kids as well. They can no longer write, or they're like, oh, I can do backspace, or or like, where's my autocorrect or something. Like they're so used to that, right? And they have kids with iPad. They're like 3 years old. They're like on an iPad instead of like writing down. It's like, no, you've written it down. You can't do backspace. You just have to start over. Then they're like, oh, I have to start over. I'm like, man, like, what the heck? Like, that, it just baffles me. Like, they don't even want to start over because like it takes time. It's not they could do like Control A backspace and they can like start over, or they could just like do backspace and they can like retype it, right? Um, and all of that, it's all like the system that we're like hanging in, that's like making us so deliberately dependent on all of these systems, and of course with the AI thing, it makes it even worse. And I don't know, it's just like I'm just scared of if that would happen one day where we no longer have the internet even for a day, because we're like I said, we're so dependent on systems, and certain systems cannot be offline because it costs them a huge amount of money. If they're like offline for a day, it costs them like 100K or something, or like servers that have to be um rebooted, you know. Certain servers might not even work anymore, because they go offline for once, then like the whole tech stuff is broken, right? All the hardware. Um, it's terrifying how everything is like so focused. Let's say you have like a circle, like a brain, and you have like all these lines that are like connected to it, and then the brain goes offline, and everything else is like collapsing. It will be one of the biggest collapses ever in humanity's history because nobody can post, nobody can go online and be like, the internet is gone. No, everything will fall silent. Um, it will be a very interesting thing to see, but at the same time, very scary because I know people are gonna like cause riots. They're gonna rob stores. They're gonna do all kinds of things that you hope would not happen are gonna happen. Um, so for the fact that human beings cannot live without the internet, I think is one of the biggest flaws that humans can have. To have it is nice. To be able to do things is nice. To keep yourself occupied is nice. Um, but it's the thing that people are too relying on it and too dependent on it. Once more, It's not our fault. It's also the system. Like our governments that build these systems that make us dependent on it. So it's not entirely our fault. But we can also riot against it, right? We can also say like, hey, cool stuff, cool idea, but I prefer to have things handwritten or something. Yes, you will be old school, absolutely, but um, they cannot fake. They cannot give you any misinformation, right? When it's handwritten, a handwritten paper or something, um, or when the bank sends you a letter, they can't hack that, right? Anything online can be hacked. Everything that's digitalized can be changed, can be hacked, um, can be removed, can be edited, like whatever, right? So it's also really dangerous, especially when you're older and you're like almost never on the internet and you get a notice from your bank, please click this link because somebody stole $5,000 off of your bank account. You're like, holy shit, it looks legit, and shit like that. And they spoofed the email where it says like no reply at yourbank.com or whatever. You're like, oh my God, that's my bank. So you log in, you click the link, and then you're fucked because you log in with your, bank stuff. And then the hacker has access because, it can see everything and it can like pull everything off of your bank account, off of your savings. And that's how sophisticated things can get. And that's scary. I think it's scary. Um, and it's like you give people one thing and they turn it into like a big thing. And those things are going to get more sophisticated, same as AI and stuff. But this is why I think internet is cool and all, but it also has its downsides with the things that I mentioned. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think especially for kids. I'm too old for that, but for kids, it's really good to have them have downtime, have them have no internet for a day, so they have to stimulate themselves with like reading a book or like doing other things. When I was 12, I was playing with Action Man. And nowadays, when kids are 12, they post on Instagram. They post TikTok videos. It's such a generational shift. I'm like, Jesus, how old is the kid? It's like 10 or something. Post like a TikTok dance video. I'm like, Jesus, my thoughts weren't even there. Internet was still like in its infant, you know, in its infancy, and dial-up internet connection. I sat through all that before we switched. Internet was really like, oh, you could go alive for 30 minutes and that's it. And now when I think about it, it wasn't actually that bad. And to have like a time of like an hour and that's it. This is why I'm making a point out of the chronically online, and when that falls, it's gonna screw a lot of people up, especially the younger generation. They're gonna scream, they're gonna yell, they're gonna cry. They don't know what to do with their lives at the moment the internet is gone. Um, and I wish we weren't that dependent on the internet, you know? For work, fine, and to log in to see shit, fine, but like all the other stuff that came with it: Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Blue Sky, yeah, Snapchat. I probably missed a few. I don't know all of them. I'm old school. I know these, and that's all. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, there are other apps that are similar. But yeah, that's just kind of how I feel about this and how I think things would go when we lose the internet for a day or 2 days, maybe even 3 days. Let's say it's gone for a week. It's going to be a massive disaster worldwide. Just imagine that a week. Holy shit. companies are gonna die, or are gonna ask for like bankruptcy, but they can't ask it because I mean, they can call maybe, but there will be landline stuff. So we'll go through the landline. So not your mobile phone, because your mobile phone has a service provider, but then your landline maybe also has now that I think about it, also has like a service provider. That thing will also be offline. So the only thing you could do is write a letter to your service provider, be like, hey, my company, this and that, put it in an envelope, give it to a pigeon, and send it off. Hopefully it will reach it. No, I'm kidding. No, but you can, of course, like send it and stuff. Um, it's crazy when you think about it that way, you know. And like I said, that wouldn't even work because you wouldn't even be reached. The only thing that you can reach is your neighbor. Hey neighbor, do you have internet? No, I don't. Oh, damn. That's it. That's your life. Going back to the early 20th century. Like the 1910s to like the 90 something like that, just before the infancy of the actual internet. And that period of time, crazy when you think about it, how we've evolved the technology and stuff. But yeah, anyway, humanity is going to get cooked. That's what I do know. So give me your opinion. What do you think? Like, what's your actual thought process on this when the internet is gone for a day, 2 days, or maybe you could do like a day one this, day one that. By day seven, humanity is gone. I don't know. Whatever it is, let me know. I'm curious.